Imagine if you were peacefully sleeping and suddenly a random woman whom you've never seen appeared in your dreams asking for help. What would you do? Now, if you said anything other than shrug it off and go back to bed, you are a much better person than me. The Hero of Legend is one of the most iconic iterations of Link. We see this Link appear in 4 entire games dedicated just to himself, the most in the entire series. And through this, we are able to see his life, his growth, and his strength progress. He grows from the peaceful farmer to a hero whose tale is passed for centuries. This is the story of the Hero of Legend, from humble farmer to savior of 4 worlds. The Legend of Hyrule. This version of Link is unlike many other iterations because this is one of the few iterations we see having an actual living family. Link lives outside of Kakariko village with his uncle, a former Hylian knight. One night, while Link sleeps, he receives a telepathic message from the Hylian princess Zelda. She calls out for help, stating that she is trapped in the lowest level of Hyrule Castle, the dungeon. Being imprisoned by the sorcerer hold on. Aghanim? That does not sound right. We're gonna go with Agahim for this video. Anyways, Link's uncle hears the same message and takes the family blade, leaving, telling Link to remain in bed. Link, being the little shit that he is, says, nah. He decides to take a lantern and follow his uncle's trail. He is unfortunately too late and finds his uncle critically wounded. Link's uncle gives him the sword and tells him to save the princess before succumbing to his wounds. Link continues deep into the dungeon where he is able to find and rescue Princess Zelda. The two flee to the nearby sanctuary where the priest tells the duo that Agahim plans to release the evil Ganon from the mystical Dark World, and to stop him, they need the mythical Master Sword. Link is encouraged to locate the Elder oh my god, I'm gonna struggle with pronunciations. Oh god. Sashrala was last seen. After the two meet, Sashrala instructs Link to acquire the Master Sword. Link needs 3 pendants. Link braves the Eastern and Desert Palaces, acquiring new items and powers in this exploration. Of these new items, 2 acquired are the aforementioned pendants of courage and power respectively. While on the way to collect the final pendant, Link locates a portal to the mysterious Dark World, and upon stepping through it, he is transformed into a bunny. Link uses these portals in and out of the Dark World to path a new way to the location of the Pendant of Wisdom, the Tower of Hera. Upon completion of the tower, Link obtains the final pendant. As soon as he has the 3, he sets off for the Lost Woods, drawing at last the Master Sword. As he pulls the mythical blade, he receives a message from Zelda, saying that the sanctuary Link had left her in was being invaded. Link immediately sets off for the sanctuary, making it just in time to speak with the priest with whom he had left Zelda. The priest laments that he was not strong enough to protect her, and that Agahim had taken Zelda back to the Hyrule Castle dungeon. The priest dies in Link's arms as he delivers this news. Link battles his way through the castle once more, eventually coming face to face with Agahim, performing a ritual on the princess. Agahim casts Zelda into the Dark World, fueling his Dark Lord Ganon. Link then battles Agahim, defeating him. Agahim, being far too petty to accept his own defeat, casts Link into the Dark World himself. Once he gets his footing into the Dark World, Link receives a message from Sashrala, telling him that Zelda is still alive somewhere. Sashrala also informs Link that across the Dark World, 7 maidens, the descendant of the 7 sages of old, were hidden. These maidens were kept across the Dark World because they held some ambiguous light powers that, for plot reasons, fueled Ganon's power and subsequent freedom. Link sets off across the Dark World, freeing the maidens as he goes, including being able to free Zelda herself. After Link frees them, the 7 maidens use their powers to break through the barrier surrounding Ganon's tower, the Dark World equivalent of Hyrule Castle. Link battles through the tower, eventually reaching its peak for a final confrontation with Agahim. Upon Link's victory, a dark piece of Ganon rises from Agahim's cloak, flying to the pyramid of power centered in the Dark World. Link pursues the piece of Ganon, making it to the pyramid. Here, Ganon reveals that Agahim was nothing more than an extension of himself, designed to invade the Light World with the express intent of gathering the 7 maidens and manipulating the Hylian King. After Ganon finishes speaking, the legendary evil and the legendary hero clash. The battle ends with Link victorious. Upon felling Ganon, the Dark World begins to heal, reverting to its former state of being, the Sacred Realm. Link is able to wish on the Triforce, one of the very few times an incarnation of the hero receives such an honor. He chooses to wish to undo Ganon's dark conquest, reviving everyone killed by the monster. The game ends on a very happy note, with Link returning the Master Sword while being able to reunite with his newly revived uncle. The Legend of Holodrum. After an unknown amount of time, the Triforce calls to Link. Link is then immediately transported to the land of Holodrum by the Triforce. Link very swiftly meets a new friend, a dancer named Din. Din takes Link into her troupe of dancers, teaching him how to dance, much to his discomfort and delight. Their budding friendship is then interrupted when Onyx, the General of Darkness, crashes the dance lesson, capturing Din, who is revealed to be the mystical Oracle of Seasons. Just to kind of be an asshole, Onyx also decides to sink the Temple of Seasons, causing Holodrum's climate to be thrown into flux. However, not all is lost. Link is able to travel to the underground world of Subrosia, where he is able to explore the ruins of the Temple of Seasons. Here he discovers the Rod of Seasons, allowing him to change Holodrum's seasons at his behest. Link is able to discover a male Mockery, who gives him important information on how to discover the 8 Essences of Nature, abilities which would restore the Temple of Seasons and power up the Rod of Seasons. The travels to acquire these essences are relatively uneventful, and eventually Link collects all 8. Upon restoration of Holodrum's seasons, Link rushes Onyx's castle in an attempt to save Din. Link and the Dark General do battle, with Onyx eventually being forced to take his true form as a dragon straight from the Dark World. Despite this, Link is able to defeat Onyx and rescue Din, and the two celebrate. This isn't the end, however, as we see a sinister duo watching the two from a mysterious room. The Legend of Labrynna. Eventually, Link returns to Hyrule once more, and then the Triforce calls him right back again. This time, Link is called to the Kingdom of Labrynna. As soon as he arrives, he is met with a cry for help. He quickly discovers that this time he is not alone. Impa, Zelda's caretaker from Hyrule, is being attacked by monsters. Impa requests Link's help finding a woman named Nehru. Link is able to track down Nehru, but it is soon revealed that Varen, Sorceress of Shadows, had possessed Impa to trick Link into finding Nehru for her. Varen takes control of Nehru's body, in which she is revealed to be the mythical Oracle of Ages. Varen uses this newfound power to change history and sabotage the present. Link travels back in time to save the Oracle and set time right. He teams up with a female Mockery who takes a liking to him. Eventually, after collecting the essences of time, Link uses the Harp of Ages in order to confront Varen at the ancient Queen Ambi's palace, where he forces the evil fairy out of Nehru's body. Varen is able to possess the queen directly, ordering completion of the tower she'd put into operation with Nehru's body. Link collects the rest of the essence of time, confronting Varen in the black tower she had constructed and defeating her at last. The Legend of Oracles. After Varen's defeat, assuming to be both Oracle games on the same device, a big conspiracy comes to light. Kome and Kotake, the Twin Rova sisters, had sent not just Varen, but Onyx as well, in order to light the flames of sorrow and destruction, respectively. Throughout his adventures in both Holodrum and Labrynna, Twin Rova had been manipulating events in order to light the flames. With the flames lit, the sisters only needed to light one final flame, Flame of Despair. This would accomplish their grand goal, their son Ganon's resurrection. As a kicker to Link, at some point, Twin Rova was able to kidnap Zelda, setting Hyrule into a time of despair, and immediately lighting the final flame. Link is able to reunite with both Oracles and Mockeries, who transport him into the Room of Right, where Twin Rova had held Zelda. Link is barely able to stop the ritual, immediately being thrust into combat with the Gerudo sisters. Upon their defeat, the witches opt to sacrifice themselves in space of Zelda, resurrecting Ganon. However, this ritual was not complete without Zelda, so Ganon is unable to retain his former intellect, being a mindless monster. Link, now far stronger after years of adventuring under his belt, goes toe-to-toe with Ganon without the Master Sword, a feat not many incarnations have survived. After a long, drawn-out battle, Link defeats Ganon for good this time, foiling Twin Rova's schemes. Link reunites with Zelda and all the friends he's made along his journey, celebrating the victory. At the end of the game, Link boards a raft, sailing away to explore what the world had to offer him. The Legend of Koholint. Unfortunately for our hero, he's taken out by a violent thunderstorm, destroying his raft. Link awakes, see what I did there, in a strange house, where a girl resembling Princess Zelda had been tending to him. She introduces herself as Marin, a resident of Koholint Island. Marin's father, Taran, returns Link's shield, and Marin tells Link that his sword is most likely at the Tatonbo shores where they had found him. Link heads down to the Tatonbo shores and is able to reclaim his sword. But as he does this, a strange owl flies to Link and tells him that the only way to escape Koholint and return back home is to brave the 8 dungeons across the island in order to obtain 8 magical instruments hidden within them, play them at the peak of the island, and awaken the island's deity, the Windfish. Acting on the owl's advice, Link travels to each dungeon, collecting the instruments and defeating the terrifying nightmares. Along the way, Link helps the people of Marin's home village, Mabe Village. As he progresses, Link and Marin grow closer, with her sharing that she wishes for a life beyond the limits of Koholint Island. To even go on a date to Animal Village, their bond being deepened every day Link spends on the island. We soon learn, however, that Koholint Island is not what it seems. The villagers are behaving odd, random animals, and depressed ghosts. Many of the locations are familiar, almost feeling like locations from back home in Hyrule. Eventually, when Link visits the Southern Face Shrine, he learns the truth. Koholint Island is nothing but a dream. The Windfish's dream. The Windfish had created it. All of it was fake. Link is deeply disturbed by this, but the owl he had met earlier insisted it was nothing but a rumor. After Link clears the real Face Shrine, the Dungeon Nightmare facade warns Link that waking the Windfish would not only destroy the island, but it had a chance that it could possibly destroy Link himself. This confirms it to Link. Waking the Windfish would mean that Koholint would be destroyed. Marin would be destroyed. Link continues in his quests, but before the final dungeon, Marin is taken and Link rescues her. They do have another conversation in which Marin says she knows one day Link will leave Koholint. She just asks for one thing. She asks Link to never forget her. Link obtains all 8 instruments, taking them to the peak of Koholint. Link plays them in front of the egg that the Windfish resides in. The egg opens and Link heads inside, confronting the leader of the nightmares, the shapeshifter Deathel. Deathel wants to prevent the Windfish from awakening so he can rule this dream world unopposed. The two do battle, in which Deathel takes form of Link's greatest fears, including Moldorm, Agahim, and even Ganon himself. After the harsh battle, Link is visited once more by the owl, being thanked for his help. Link then meets the Windfish as the two awaken together.